Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Happy New Year! Hope you guys had a lovely Christmas break, a lovely end of 2022. Hope you're ready for 2023. I had to split this conversation into 2 parts because it was so long and it was such a good conversation. We are talking all things money. We're talking about when you finally get the pay rise, when you finally get the money in your business, whatever it is, what next? Because when you don't give your money a purpose, firstly, it's hard to even get to the goal. But when you do, it doesn't feel as good as you thought it would. I'm joined by Cleo, and she's the founder of Women About Finance. She is also a podcast host. She hosts The Money Couch. And literally, this is an interview, but it's also a conversation between two women who have come from working class families, who haven't come from much, but have found a way to get to 6 figures. Cleo herself is a multi-6-figure woman, and she got there through her 9 to 5. And I think that's so important because we put this emphasis on the fact that you can only build wealth if you're an entrepreneur, which isn't true. Cleo's about to tell you why it's not true. So yeah, I'm just going to let you lot dive into the episode. Enjoy. So this is part 1. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I am recording this right before Christmas and you guys will hear this in the new year. So because of that, and I know this time of year, everyone's always talking about like new year, new goals and what goals can you set? But what I was thinking about was not just setting the goal, but what happens when you hit the goal. You guys know I ended the year all about money. You know, I love talking about money, getting more money in your pockets, helping you with more money. And I want to start the new year in the same way, because let's be honest, regardless of your resolution, most of us are just trying to be happy and get to the money. And I'm not saying the money is what makes us happy, but it definitely influences our happiness. A lot of people will say to you, money doesn't make you happy. But the truth is, when you are struggling, when you are stressed, when you are frustrated because of money, you are unhappy. So therefore, money directly impacts how you feel in life. It directly impacts the ease we have in life. So, like I said, most of us, even if we want to lose weight, we want to spend more time with family, overall, we just want to be happy. And sometimes money is involved with that. Recently, if you lot follow me on Instagram, you guys know I set myself on the 1st of January, 2022, I wanted to save a certain amount of money by the end of the year. It was not looking like that was going to happen. And then November 29th, out of nowhere, I hit the goal. However, when I hit the goal, guys, it was very much what now? Like I've hit the money goal, and I'm going to go into this in the episode. I'm going to let you guys know how much I hit, how I hit it, all that good stuff. But this episode isn't about getting to the money. It's about when you get the money, what do you do next? And because of that, I've got an amazing guest who's joining me today. Her name is Cleo. She's a financial empowerment and mindset coach. And yeah, we're going to be having a real frank conversation about money. We're going to be having a good chat and I'm going to be interviewing her a little bit. So without further ado, I am going to let Cleo introduce herself.
Thank you very much. That was a lovely introduction. I'd love to hear more about your experience and what it is going to take your journey for the year. But my name is Cleo Matlu. I'm a financial empowerment and mindset coach, and I support women who really want to improve their relationship with money to achieve and desire the wealth of women that they truly desire and actually lean into her. So that involves financial confidence, resilience, and actually unpacking a lot of limiting beliefs that you have when it comes to money in order for you to be able to exceed and actually live into that desire that you really want to achieve in life.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Tell me how you got here. Like, tell me about yourself. How did you get here? What got you into this? Yeah, I know that everyone listening would love to know.
Yeah, so everyone always says I'm a bit of an anomaly in my family. I come from a working class background. My mum is still in the same council house as we were when I was 2 months old, and my dad's had to move to the Caribbean recently. So, you know, it wasn't a single house household, but my parents were hand to mouth, and, you know, money didn't come easily. Working hard meant that more will you work hard, the more money you receive. So there was a lot of beliefs in regards to money and how you go about actually getting it and attaining it. Then I had the great opportunity to go to the Caribbean and move with to stay with my grandma, from my dad's side. And she's actually been one of the greatest role models when it comes to money, because she was the most fearless, independent woman I know to date. She didn't want for nothing. She was always hustling herself. She was a single mother. She never had a man to support her. And she was just grinding. So she instilled a lot of the beliefs that I have with money, in particular, because I moved there when I was 7 for a short while. And actually 7, if you look in psychology, 0 to 7 is where you set your beliefs. And 7 is when you're at a real impressionable age, when life starts to make sense. So she had me at that time, and I had that opportunity to be at that time. And then as I start to grow up, I just noticed that money is everywhere, but it just wasn't in my household. And that just didn't make any sense to me. But I took the principles of my grandma to work hard, you get your money. So paper round at 11, 14, I worked in my first clothes shop. 16, I had 2 jobs. And I've always been a person who has always had to have 2 income streams at a minimum. It's just always been something that I've had, and I feel a bit uneasy if I just depend on one. So whether it's been maths tutoring or, something else that I can pick up on the side, I always like to have just that regular top up when it comes to money. And I've been in the finance industry for 15 years. I graduated in finance and accounting. So I'm very versed with money. As much as I wanted to go into the theatre production space, I was just like, mate, can't do this broke life, and just not know where my hand to mouth is, can't do it. So I had to sacrifice what I desired to do and just chase the money. And I successfully did that. I'm now sitting here saying that I have my name on 3 properties, 2 rented, 1 in London, 1 in Leicester, live in Aylesbury now. I hit the 6-figure mark in terms of my salary, and I was miserable. I was so miserable. And it's quite canny that you actually mentioned about you hit your savings goal and what now? I was in the what now space. Like, on paper, I was rocking it. Like, I had everything that from the outside, it looked as it should be, successful, bringing 6 figures. I'm a multiple 6-figure earner, multiple 6-figure net worth earner. I'm like, I should be happy, right? All my problems should dissolve. Everything should be great. I'm married. I've got my kid. I've got 1 on the way now. But I was so miserable. So that's kind of what brought me here. And also looking around the community and just noticed, okay, I've done it from nothing, literally nothing. No one giving me any education other than myself, and being in the finance industry. I wanted other women to feel empowered to be able to do the same thing too. And what made me different from everybody else? My audacity, knowing what the rock bottom looked like, and just knew that everything I do is going to be better. And the journey of me coming to Women Like Finance came from the so what now, and that's where I'll probably leave it there, so we can explore a little bit more there, because I definitely rate with you in terms of the what now aspect, when you've actually made it and achieved it, expecting the fanfare, expecting the parade, expecting the graduation certificate and the medal. It just doesn't arrive. So yeah, it was a very interesting time.
Guys, you lot can't see me, but I'm over here nodding my head off, because I was like, I relate so much to a lot of your story, like coming from nothing. I came from a single parent home. All my listeners already know, just me and my mum, and she had like 2, 3 jobs. My mum's from the Caribbean. She was born in Jamaica. She's only educated up to the age of 14. So year 9, she has a year 9 education. She managed to come here, get a mortgage. She had 3 or 4 jobs. She always handled her business. So when people sort of say to me, oh, they can't, or because of this reason or that reason, I'm like, my mum's only educated up to year 9, in our equivalent of year 9. And she came to a whole new country and was able to achieve things that a lot of us who are born here aren't able to achieve. But watching my mum definitely gave me a fear around money. money not being available. Like you said, when you were talking about being 7 and the information you got from your grandma, I was remembering being about that age, but my information was fed from my mum from a place of fear. I need to make sure me and my daughter are good. No one else is helping us. Money's hard to come by. So guys, anyone listening, I want you to really think back to when you were younger. What money conversations were you hearing around you? What were you being told? Like, I got told all the time that money did not grow on trees. And did I want my mum to go out and sell something for her to be able to pay for stuff? Because that's definitely a Caribbean thing. Women will say to you, what, you want me to go out and sell something so that you can, eat and stuff or have nice stuff? So I grew up like money was a contentious thing in our household. Money was like a scary thing. But it made me think, damn, my mum works 3-4 jobs. That's not going to be my life. I am no way going to work 3-4 jobs, but I'm going to make a lot of money. That's all I knew as a kid. I wanted to make a lot of money. So when you were talking, I was really just resonating with the coming from nothing and trying to create something. And that's one of the big reasons why, as I help women find careers they love, but get paid stupidly well to do it. Because I love the fact that you said that you became a 6-figure earner. A lot of people feel like when you don't come from much, you will never see that type of money. You will never get to that level. And I love that you just spoke about that and that energy that you come from. And the fact that you had such a good influence at 7 and you were able to sort of get the idea. But you still had, where you mentioned, you still had the whole work 2 jobs, you need to work hard. Because I do think when you come from working class, you don't come from much, you will always in the back of your mind have you need to work hard. Hard work is important. And there's a difference between hard work and hustle and burnout and all these type of things. But for me, hard work is definitely a key thing. I didn't have 2 sources of income, as in like 2 jobs or 2, because I always felt like I didn't want to work as hard as my mum. But I definitely have overworked myself. And I think my thing was have a good job that pays well, but save like crazy, because I was always scared money was going to run. My savings definitely come from a place of lack. They come from, if money runs out, we got to go back to how we used to live. So save as much as you can and kind of hoard as much money as you can to kind of move forward. So yeah, I just love the way you explained your story. And I hope anyone listening just thinks back, because your money story definitely comes from when you were younger. The way you are now is a direct reflection of how you grew up. And some of it's good and some of it's bad. And the bad stuff is the stuff we want to weed out. And yeah, I'm definitely going to share my what now moment, because the fact that you said you started earning 6 figures and you became your multi 6 figures and you have property and you still were like, what next? It kind of makes me feel a bit more like, okay. So yeah, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update as well, because very recently, after hitting my money goal, I also have recently been made redundant. Very recently, right before Christmas, which, guys, I know it's crazy and I'm talking about it and I'm laughing, but it was a huge shock to go to literally hit my money goal and then also be made redundant. So I'm starting the new year unemployed as far as the 9-to-5 world is concerned. My business is still there. I'm still coaching. But yeah, that's a weird one. I've never not had a 9-to-5 ever. Even when I got pregnant, had my daughter, I was only off for 6 months and then I was straight back to work. I have never not worked. And you saying about having 2 jobs, that's how I feel about my 9-to-5. Not having a 9-to-5 feels very alien. It feels very off-putting. So yeah, guys, as much as I talk to you a lot about pay rises and asking for more and going after the higher paid jobs and not worrying about getting another qualification or another degree, but actually worrying about communicating why you're valuable, what you bring to the table is valuable, and getting paid off of that, I also want to help you figure out, once you get that money, what the hell do you do next? So my question for Cleo is, does earning more automatically help you to create wealth?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I did not feel particularly wealthy when I was at my optimal. I mean, I'm talking circa 150K is what I was earning. And I felt like some problems did dissolve, but it's like new level, new devil, as they say. And it just didn't feel wealthy at all. And the reason being of that, and that's through doing a lot of work on myself, through therapy, through having my own coach, is wealth is not a destination. It is a visceral feeling within. Wealth consciousness is understanding that you are resourceful, that you have opportunities, that you are able to diversify, that you're bigger than the actual circumstance and the situation. And what I mean by that is that we are, from a very, very young age, so goal oriented that that's what we believe is the way to success. And I completely debunk that. And actually in my containers is that's what I don't teach. I don't teach SMART goals, because what it is about the person that you are and the person you're becoming or you are being. And it's understanding the being of who you are. So I don't know if anybody's heard the model, which I live by, is that the way that we live is that if I had this, then I can do this, so then I can become this. If we flip it around and say, well, I'm being, this is my being. So if I am a wealthy woman, then what I do in terms of my habits, my money habits, is this. And then as a result of me being consistent and knowing viscerally I'm a wealthy woman, then I can have. But we always are in our way because we say, when I have this, then I can do this, so I can be this. Be the person already, and just take aligned action and steps consistently to then have the things. So the best way I can also describe this is when people run for a marathon, they do all the training, they are doing the schedule, they probably are enjoying the running after the hump at the beginning, and then they tell themselves, I'm going to continue to run because I enjoy running after the marathon. How many people drop the running after a marathon? Because they haven't decided that they are runners. All they've done is become a runner for a means to an end result. So if you're always thinking, I need to do things as a means to an end, rather than saying to yourself, I am that person. So if you said to yourself, I'm a runner, then irrespective of whether you're running for a marathon, running for a half marathon, or just running for the sake of running, you would always be a runner. But what a lot of people do is, I'm going to be a runner for this particular goal. And then once the goal's hit, then you no longer associate yourself with that habit and consistency that you had. So it all depends on what the person you desire to be, in order for you to then not be so driven by the goal. If you're a saver, you're a saver. I am a saver. So irrespective of whether we hit the goal or not is irrelevant, because for you, becoming a saver is important to you. You keep the consistency, you keep the habit, and you'll forever hit certain milestones, but it's not about the goal. It's about the consistency and you being a person that is a saver.
Oh, I love this.
So that is why I feel when we get to a point of actually always, right, I've got the house. Right, next, I want to rental property. Right, what's next? I need to get the six-figure salary. It doesn't end. You don't ever feel that it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I was doing and how I was actually attaining it, I was detached to it. There was no connection or attachment to the way that I was doing it. As I have to have this, so then I am happy. So I based my happiness on having things rather than saying, I am that person already. So irrespective of whether I receive it, achieve it, it's irrelevant, because the journey of me actually going onto that path and learning and evolving and seeing the opportunities and seeing the options that I have, that is limitless. So I wasn't acting in a limitless capacity. I was limiting myself because I got to these certain goals and I wasn't that person. I was that person for the external accolade. It wasn't me internally. So me being a woman, a Black woman, who's financially empowering people and being a money mindset coach is a life's work for me. And there isn't an end to it, because I am limitless in the resources and the options and the goals, the end goals that I have to support women in this capacity. So the life's work doesn't end. And in fact, I don't want it to end even when I'm gone, because the way that I have created a tidal wave of effect and impact will live through other people who may not even know my name. So it's understanding that the goal is part of the journey, but it isn't the end. It's knowing that the longevity and the extension of what you're doing will always continue to live. And if we think of it that way, when we are actually setting goals, then we won't get to a point of feeling disheartened because we know what we're doing is life's work.
Powerful stuff. If you listen, guys, do not let any of that go over your head. We can chase the goal, but who are we being on the way to the goal? If you listen to the episode right before this, it was mindset versus strategy when it comes to money. And I'm a strategy girl. And the strategy, and I feel like that's what you're talking about, the strategy is to go get the thing. Just go get the thing. Not that you are the thing, not that you are the woman who can do that, but just go get the thing and then you'll be happy. But the truth is, guys, you can go get the money. I can help you get the pay rises and make more money. But if you don't see yourself as someone who is good with money, if you don't see yourself as someone who can create wealth, then you will just be someone who gets more money and spends more money. Because I know someone who I personally helped to double her salary, who came back to me for coaching because she said, I don't understand. I still don't have no money. I'm still struggling, but she doubled her income. And a year later, she wasn't better off. The reason she wasn't better off is because who she is was still someone who struggled, was in the struggle mindset, was thinking, I can't manage my money. You have to be the woman who's already decided, I am great with money, then go and make the money. You have to be the woman who says, I am happy receiving money, dealing with money, handling money, saving money, investing money. And then you become the woman who is those things. But if you run out and go and invest, but you don't feel like you're good at investing, I can almost guarantee that it's going to go down the toilet.
100%.
Right?
100%. You are not going to remain consistent because what you're doing, you're doing it for external accolade rather than something that's internally visceral for you. It's the intrinsic versus the extrinsic goals. I'm doing this because everybody else is doing it. I'm doing it because I'm told that it should be this way. I'm doing it because my family expected me to go this direction. What is it that you want? Mm-hmm. What is it that is going to be impactful to you? Don't care about everything else, Be very specific of what is it that you desire rather than focusing on, well, everybody does it this way, so I guess I have to do it this way. I put a post about a week ago. I was like, these are all the personal finance rules I've broken to get where I am. Because if I actually focused and listened on how things should be, and I have a really complicated relationship with the word should. Like, if I did things the way I should be, I wouldn't be sitting here today, because should is always doing things in other people's expectation. Anytime you hear yourself, I'm shoulding myself, is okay, I'm taking on somebody else's desires and goals that they want for me, but that's not who I am. So if you keep on chasing things because it's the thing to do, because that's the strategy to actually do, because everyone's told you that way, you're going to get there and go, oh, okay, I've done it now, I know what, and it's going to be forever a certain thing. It's like, you know what, if you end up then flipping it, it's even down to your career. It's I am whatever your role is, or what you want to bring to the role. If you see yourself as that person, so if you are an absolute, tech geek, and you say, I am a fully fledged tech geek, and I am that person. So then you do things, and your habits and your consistency is all around being that tech geek, because you have that as a badge of honor for you. You don't care about anybody else thinks. Me, I'm a tech geek. I'm living up to that person because I know I'm that person, and that's what I love to do. Okay? Yeah, you do it consistently, and then you'll keep on having, because that's who you are.
Yes.
And you'll be happy for the consistent, because everything is aligned to what you desire, because you're getting the money as almost a bonus, because you're doing something that you love. So then you'll treat the money with respect, and you must imagine yourself in a relationship with money. You'll treat it with respect because you are receiving money, which is from an aligned place of who you are. If you keep receiving money from a place that's not aligned to you, then it's never going to be quite enough.
Yeah.
You're just going to consistently searching for something that in reality you're never going to actually find. And I frigging hated what I was doing. I hated it. So it was just like, well, and I found myself at 150k going, I need more. What? Hello?
You see this, guys? 150k, because I know a lot of you listening aren't necessarily there yet, but 150k, still not happy.
No.
It's not about the money, it's about the embodiment. Who do you want to be on the way? Like, I was a kid who was bullied. When I decided that I wasn't going to be that person anymore and I was going to be the person who stuck up for themselves, I became that person. I became confident. Like I've always said, I'm really confident when it comes to my career and making money. And I've always somehow got access to rooms and places that I had no idea how I got into because I decided I was that person. I wasn't that person first. And I feel like that's so important because you're talking about embodiment. You can't be the person, like, you can work your way towards things, but you have to decide you're going to be that thing first. Like if you want to be confident, you have to decide that you're going to be confident and then work towards it. You don't just wake up and you are the thing. You don't just 150k guys and not happy. I know a lot of you are listening saying, no, if I had 150k, I'd be bare happy. But 150k and unhappy. Not where she wanted to be because she was just chasing the goal because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm with you with the whole supposed to. One of my really good friends told me once, the rules are just guidelines, Adele. Because I'm very much a rule follower. Growing up, I'm very much a rule follower, apart from in my career, which is very interesting. If I'm really passionate about something, I just do whatever I want. But other than that, I'm quite a big rule follower. But my friend was like, Adele, the rules are guidelines. Yeah. And guess what? Guidelines, they're not as important as rules. They mean you can do what you want to do, guys. So shouldn't yourself, you should be earning more. You're this age, so you should be married or you should be doing these things. There's no should. You should be doing whatever makes you happy. That's really important. I say that all the time. The only should you should be doing is the things that make you happy, the things that bring you joy, not the things that make your family happy, parents happy, partner happy. What makes you happy? Mm-hmm. How are you happy? How within wherever it is you are right now, how can you be happy? How can you embody the woman you want to be? If you're listening to this right now and you're close to the 6-figure mark or you want to be at 6 figures, is it for you? And if it is, how are you embodying that? Have you decided that you're already a 6-figure woman? When people come to me and they get 20k pay rise and 30k pay rises, it's because they've decided. Because they haven't suddenly got more education. They haven't suddenly got more experience. They just decided when we started working together, they decided with the confidence, oh, okay, I'm already a 6-figure earner. And then guess what? They go ahead and negotiate to become a 6-figure earner. But wealth isn't built just from earning. I also like that you mentioned that you were earning 6 figures in your 9-to-5. And this is one of the questions I had for you, because a lot of women I talk to feel like you cannot build any type of wealth with a 9-to-5. You cannot increase your money with a 9-to-5. You have to be an entrepreneur. And again, I feel like that falls into a lot of the should. Mm-hmm. Like, I should be an entrepreneur if I want to make a crap load of money. I should be an entrepreneur if I want a certain level of freedom. I should be an entrepreneur. But you were talking about hitting 150k, wanting more, but having a 9-to-5. So can you start to build wealth in a 9-to-5?
Absolutely. And it's just about how you actually, it's the mastery of money and seeing managing your money as an act of self-love. And that's definitely something that I didn't know at the time, but I definitely noticed why I'm part of the 1% in that space where managing my money has always been an act of self-love. And the more that I've leaned into managing my money, given every pound a purpose, has then enabled me to make these decisions of being able to say 1 August in an Airbnb in Leicester, oh, 1-bed flat, I could do this. I want a rental. And in April, have the keys in my hand. Because number one, like you said, I just decided. I didn't have the money at the time at all. I just decided I'm going to buy a rental property in Leicester and have it as an Airbnb, and took aligned steps to get that, because I was like, I literally embodied that I am having a rental property. done.
And were you in your 9 to 5 then?
I was in my 9 to 5.
This is what I'm talking about.
And I just decided. And because I decided, I opened myself to opportunities and was resourceful in ways that had I not embodied that, I wouldn't have seen the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Because I made the decision that's mapped out for me. And because of that, I made the decision to then take aligned steps from that August to January, February, when I started looking at properties, to have the keys in my hand in the April, in my 9 to 5. And the opportunities were, yes, getting pay increases, switching jobs. It just so happened to just, as some people say, fall into place. It fell into place because I decided that is what I wanted, and I saw the opportunities and took them in order for me to be actually embody that I'm going to have a rental property. It was not a doubt in my mind that that wasn't going to happen in my 9 to 5. And whilst living in London, yes, I decided, I'm born and bred in Leicester, which is why I know the city good enough to know where to buy. But that was the decision I made in my 9 to 5. I wasn't an entrepreneur back then. I did a bit of maths tutoring here and there just because I always like to, like I said, have a bit on the side. I'm not against hustling. There's a healthy way of hustling. But yeah, that was in my 9 to 5. It was only until I've had Women About Finance where I can truly say that I'm now an entrepreneur. Yeah. But most of the time, it's been side hustles as part of the second income. Through my decision, that doesn't mean that I feel that everybody has to have a side hustle. But that was my decision in having my side hustles. I increased that a little bit and then changed jobs, got increases, and I had my rental property.
There you go.
So that is a true example. And through that, then that expedites my net worth because I've bought brick and mortar. And I already was living in my property in London, West London already. So that then put 2 houses in my portfolio. And then again, moving here to Aylesbury, I was still a 9 to 5 because now what I've done, I've increased my equity in the 2 properties, which I could leverage on to then help us with the deposit in buying the house here. So as soon as you get into the game of investing, you can leverage on it to then increase your net worth and how much diversification you have in your investment portfolio. So those, when I got to the expecting the fanfare and stuff, that was all pretty much my 9 to 5. There was nothing in terms of my entrepreneur money that I have actually invested other than into the business for me to create my wealth. So it's absolutely possible to be able to create wealth just through your 9 to 5.
Can I just first say, I'm absolutely in love with the fact that you said managing your money is a form of self-love or a form of self-care, did you say?
Self-love.
Managing your money is a form of self-love. Guys, I'm stuck right there. I am literally stuck right there. Like, managing your money is a form of self-love. Never thought of it like that. Have never thought of it like that. That sunk right in and sat with me. And then on top of that, you're just talking about how much you did while you had your 9 to 5. I need everyone to stop sleeping on their 9 to 5. I need everyone to understand that your 9 to 5 can get you the things you want. Guys, you guys know, whether you're trying to make more of your 9 to 5 or move into business, there are no right or wrong ways. Everything has pros, everything has cons. But don't look at your 9 to 5 as something that's hindering you or holding you back. Look at your 9 to 5 as the same way a business owner will look at their business. It's helping you build the life you want. Stop letting these people tell you it's not in the budget and all this other nonsense, and go out and get the 9 to 5 you want. But behind that, manage the money, because managing the money is self-love. I love that. Oh, guys, that just needs to be a tagline somewhere because it's so important to have that. But yeah, you were just talking and I was like, that is such a big statement, because none of us will think about the fact that managing our money is a form of self-love. We just feel like we need to get money, pay bills, do whatever it is. Like, and as we start to increase as far as our earnings and things like that, the way you manage money is how you're going to get to the wealth that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
The way you manage it, not the amount you have. I know people that don't earn less, but are so much better with their money
yeah.
that they created more wealth than people that are earning insane amounts of money and they can't tell me where that money went because they just spend like crazy. So it's not, guys, it's not the amount of money. It's not the fact whether you're an entrepreneur or a 9-to-5er. I love that Cleo spoke to you and told you everything she achieved while in her 9-to-5. This is before her business. This is before she was an entrepreneur. So a lot of you are saying, oh, you guys are able to do these things because you're an entrepreneur. I'm very similar to you. I like a good side hustle. I've had a good side hustle while I've had my business. Like, I didn't start having side hustles till maybe, actually, it's about 15 years ago. So it's a long time. So I've had side hustles for a minute, whether that was helping people like tutoring, just like you said, whether that was doing contracts for people. Because once I got into HR, there were contracts. I started helping people with CVs back in the day, before I ever had a business. Like, I've always had like a side hustle happening. I've always enjoyed a good side hustle, but what you do with that money is important. When I first had my side hustle, I can't tell you where any of that money went. I really can't tell you. When I was younger and I had that side hustle, it went on probably holidays and clothes, and I can't even tell you. Probably on my daughter, to be honest, or a car, because I used to love a car. But I wasn't building well. I definitely wasn't investing. Investing was always something that growing up, what? You're going to put your money in the stock market so you can lose money? Like, that was this is my mum's voice, by the way, guys. Like, hearing my mum's voice, you're going to put what? Are you mad? These times you can put your money in the bank. And I was like, yeah, put the money in the bank. But am I earning as much as it in the bank? And it was more about putting your money in the stock market. You can lose. And that's the truth. That's a fact. You can win and you can lose. However, even banks, guys, banks only cover your money up to 85,000. Have you ever thought of that? People could be holding $1 million in a bank, and if the bank crashes, the government's only gonna give you 85,000. That doesn't sound good to me. That sounds like a scam. But definitely in my head, I always heard you can lose money, you can lose money. And guys, I've lost money on the stock market and I've made a crap load of money on the stock market. Both ends. I'm both ends of the spectrum. I remember the first time I went on the stock market and I made like £900. And then a week later, I lost £900. You can lose as much as you can win. However, investing is a way to create passive income. It's a way to create wealth, but it's definitely a mindset. So as much as I'm a strategy girl, I know that when I started investing, it was because my mindset changed. My mindset elevated. I stopped thinking about what I could lose and I started thinking about what I could gain. I only invested money I could afford to lose. Because let's be honest, me buying a 20K car is not an investment. It's a liability, because once I drive it off the showroom, I've lost money. Once it has its wear and tear, I've lost money. But we don't think of it like that. We just think, oh, I got a nice car. And even when we get a mortgage, we don't think of that as debt. But we think of like credit card debt as a bad thing, but we don't think of mortgages as debt. They are debt. The same way you can have debt in a mortgage, you can have debt in the stock market, because what goes down must go up. What goes up must go down. Like, and that is as simple as that. Stock market is a long-term investment. Sometimes it's a short-term investment, but I'm not giving anyone financial advice. I just want to make that really clear.
Absolutely.
I'm not a financial advisor, but investing was a mindset shift for me. And that was while in a 9-to-5, not while having a business. I started investing small through my 9-to-5. I was able to do that by increasing my salary and then using the extra to play with. Because guys, when you increase your salary, you have to remember you've been living on a certain amount of money for a certain period of time. If your salary goes up, you don't actually need that additional money, because otherwise you wouldn't have been surviving on what you were surviving on before. The additional money, yes, it's great to have, because why not? I like nice holidays and I like nice things. But I also allocate some of that extra money to investments, to trying to build wealth. And I think that just the way you described, you decided you wanted an Airbnb, you decided you wanted a rental property, you had no idea how, you had no money, but you just said, I'm going to go for it. And this is what I want everyone to understand. I'm just going to go for it. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to make the money. But guess what? Once you get into the mindset, I'm going to go for it, opportunity always starts to show up. Your brain kicks into gear and your brain starts saying, try this, try this, try this. And the reason I'm a believer in mindset, which I wasn't before, I want you guys to know I was very like, mindset is nonsense. You need to work hard to make your money. When I decided to enter into the world of mindset, I just started saying, I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to have a lot of money and save a lot of money. And I want to save, started off I want to save 40K. I want to save 50K. I want to save for a deposit for a house. I don't know how, but I'm going to save. And guess what? My brain kicked into gear, guys. And resources started to show up. And I started thinking of going for the higher salaries and doing whatever I needed to do. And suddenly, money started to come to me. I started being open to money from being all around. Like at the very beginning of this episode, Cleo said she started to notice when she was younger that money was all around. It wasn't in her household, which she couldn't understand, but it was all around. That didn't happen to me till much later in life, where I started to realize money is everywhere, but I just got to be open to the money. And once I started to be open to the money, guys, money really started to show up. And when I say show up, I don't mean like £10 here, £20 there. I mean like my first big money showing up was like £9,000 out of nowhere. I had a thought. I thought, oh, let me go and do this thing. I did it. And then I got £9,000. And I was like, what? One thought, one change in perspective made me change my action. So your mindset is so important. And if you're thinking that you have to be an entrepreneur before you can get wealthy, you will never let your brain think of all the ways you can currently access wealth from your 9 to 5 or through your 9 to 5. You will never allow your mind to be open because you're telling it, oh, we can't build wealth or get rich or do any of that because we work a 9 to 5, because we work for someone else. While you're working for someone else, make what you're doing work for you. It's so important, guys. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.